This is RadioFire.com. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here. Thank you for joining me. Today's broadcast brought to you in part by the upcoming reality show, Chase the Dream Baltimore. See a group of fresh, talented artists with personalities as strong as their rhymes navigate through life, love, and the entertainment business. Visit Facebook.com/Chase the Dream now. So it happened. I was worried about him, but the juice. O.J. Simpson has been granted parole. He made his case, and the parole board ruled in his favor, and he could be leaving the Lovelock Correctional Facility as early as October of this year. But O.J., you would think it was 1992. He's so polarizing. People have strong feelings about O.J. even now. So the victim impact, let's talk about that. Victim impact. Do you know what that is? Victim impact. Victim impact is, when someone's up for parole, usually, a lot of times, the victims or the victim's family comes out and talks about why they don't think the person should get parole. And they'll say, the parolee did this or he did that to my family and this and that, and not too soon to come out, that kind of stuff. And that stuff weighs really heavy on the parole board. It does. And in the instance here, O.J. Simpson, you remember, was given 33 years for his part in this robbery kidnap scheme thing that happened. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but initially they offered him 2.5 years. He said, "What? I'm O.J. Simpson. We're going to take it to trial." He took it to trial. He lost, and he got those 33 years. Now, it's way too long for what he was accused and convicted of doing. So the victim is actually friends with O.J. and has known O.J., knew O.J. before the incident happened. There were 2 victims, actually. One victim is deceased now since the situation happened. The other victim came and testified, and his testimony was very strong, and I'm sure that it weighed heavy on the parole board. And he definitely said he had forgiven O.J. Simpson. He said that O.J. Simpson was a good person. He said, and this was the thing, that the only moment that O.J. Simpson really cried during the parole hearing, and that's when the victim of this crime said, "If O.J. Simpson called me today and said, 'I'm getting out tomorrow, can you pick me up?' he said that he would say, 'Yeah, Juice, I'll pick you up.'" So the victim in the case said that he would even pick O.J. Simpson up. And I'm sure that had an impact on the parole board. Now, in addition to that, O.J. Simpson has stayed out of trouble. They say he cleans the gym equipment. He talks to new inmates and keeps them straight, keeps them on that right path. He's been a model prisoner, pretty much as you can be. He stayed out of trouble. And it's O.J. Simpson. It's the juice, right? And so what was weird about O.J. is that O.J. it's still O.J. You know what I mean? He's going to get another chance at life outside of the prison walls. Now, I thought he almost blew it. A lot of people talking crazy about O.J.'s lawyer, because O.J. got up there. He didn't just say, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done what I did. Blah, 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 short and sweet, and get out of Dodge." No, he wanted to talk about why he was there and what he did. Because if you remember, he did not take the stand during the trial that sent him to jail. He didn't take the stand. So this is our first time that we've heard O.J. speak about these instances that happened. And so he said the only reason he didn't care about the memorabilia and the signed memorabilia, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was the victim and another victim. They had a bunch of O.J. Simpson memorabilia that they were selling. And O.J. and some of his goons rolled up in there with guns. They held the people, and they just roughed them up a little bit, that kind of thing. But he said he didn't care about the signed memorabilia, jerseys, footballs, whatever was in there. He cared about the personal family photos that were there. That's what he went there for, he said. And he went down this whole thing, starts going down about that. And I'm like, he's messing up. He doesn't seem like he's sorry. He did say he was sorry. But the parole board looks at 11 things. They look at what is your post-jail plans, whether you got something in place, a place to stay, employment, how you were in jail, all that kind of stuff. And he hit all of those marks, even though he's making excuses, even though he was talking smack, even though you could kind of see the OJ ego, the juice ego oozing from OJ Simpson. But, I was surprised because I thought when they went to deliberation for those 30 minutes, I was like, OJ about to get 4 more years to think about it. But they came out and they said, Juice, you good. He presented himself as a family man who missed dozens of his children's birthdays while he's been behind bars. He's a devout Christian and here it is. This is the statement. This is the statement that set OJ haters off. O.J. Simpson said to the parole board, I have basically lived a conflict-free life. And that just set some people off. They said, he lying. He should have got there and told the truth. And the truth. And so I saw an interview with one of the gunmen. Imagine that. One of the gunmen, in this case, all of the gunmen turned on OJ. They got smacks on the wrist. And they were out doing interviews saying, OJ lied. OJ lying. He knew he had guns. Like all that kind of crazy stuff, but whatever. So he said that he basically spent and lived a conflict-free life. And some people just felt that was just too much for him to say. I disagree, though. I think that was a fair statement. And let me tell you why. So people say, some people assume that O.J. Simpson killed Mr. Goldman and his ex-wife. People assume that. He was not convicted of that. He was acquitted, if you remember. He was acquitted. So therefore, and maybe it was his celebrity. That's what some people want to say. It's very difficult, celebrity or not, it's very difficult for a black man to walk free from killing not one, but 2 white people. How difficult is that? Very difficult. Now, I know that Johnny Cochran was the man, but I'm just saying, if there was reason for them to convict him, they would have. Let's look at this. They convicted him even though he didn't touch any guns, even though he didn't beat anybody up or smack anybody or tie anybody up. They put him away for 33 years for this, but they did not convict him of double murder. Now, I understand it was in L.A. and Las Vegas, but the point is the point. It's still O.J. Simpson. So if they had the evidence, they would have convicted him, I think. I don't think the money played a factor because O.J. Simpson still went to jail. And even though he wasn't, in the height of his career, when back in the day when he was on trial for murder, he wasn't in the height of his career. So with that being said, O.J. Simpson said that he has basically had a conflict-free life. I don't have a problem with that statement, while it may sting some people. Now, I understand that he had some domestic situation that he pled to with regards to his ex-wife, Nicole. But that aside, he was not convicted of anything else. Okay, there have been some 911 calls, and you can hear what appears to sound like O.J. Simpson yelling at her in the background, And a lot of people remember that. And it's very chilling things that he said. And she's had black eyes, and there seemed to have been some domestic situations going on there. But he said the word basically. So let's look at it like this. Let's say, so O.J. Simpson has that conviction for the domestic thing, and let's give it one. Let's just say he had two, right? Let's say O.J. Simpson's 70 years old. Let's say that he has these two domestic situations. That's it. That's all he had. Now, of course, he's arrogant. He's O.J. Simpson. He's messing with these white girls. He's acting all crazy. He's wilding out. He's got this crazy ego. He's running through airports. Okay, got you. Now, let's use an analogy here. Let's say that a guy says that I have basically been unemployed. Let's say that this guy has had two jobs in his life and he's lived 70 years, but he's had two jobs. That's it. And he wasn't at those jobs that long. And he says, basically, I've been unemployed my whole life. Would we say because he's had those two jobs, no, then you lying. You've been working your whole life. No, he only had two jobs. He's 70 years old. He wasn't there that long. O.J. Simpson said basically he's had a conflict-free life. We know about the domestic incidents with his former wife. But other than that, what has he have? Nothing else. I mean, yeah, we've heard him yell and scream. Okay, a lot of people yell and scream. If you listen to me in my house, I'm sure you hear me yell and scream at some point in time. You know what I mean? Well, I got to take out the trash. Why don't you take out the trash sometime? You know what I mean? Why you got to hang the clothes up right there? Why you can't, just whatever I would yell about. There's the only things I can think about. But let's just say that, you're going to get people yelling, screaming. You don't know what Nicole did. And I'm not making any excuses. I'm not saying that O.J. Simpson should have assaulted her. I'm not an O.J. apologist. I'm just saying that people are holding O.J. accountable for what happened 24 years ago during a trial from a long time ago. The parole board was not going to look at the fact that you may think that O.J. Simpson got away with murder, but that case is separate. It has nothing to do with this case. O.J. Simpson saying that he was basically conflict-free is a lawyer. To me, it's like a lawyerly term. Okay, because he used that word basically, that gives him that leeway right there. And if you take basically out, and if he just said, I've had a conflict-free life, then that's a lie. If he says basically, that means I had a couple of things, but not that many. I think that that's a fair statement. Although it will hurt the family. Tanya Brown, the sister of the late Nicole Brown, who is OJ's ex-wife, she was talking to TMZ, and she took exception to that statement. And she said, this is from Tanya Brown. This is the sister of OJ's ex-wife, the deceased. She said, you beat my sister regardless of him murdering her and Ron. Notice how she called him Ron. Like we know him like that. Like that was her boyfriend. Like Ron was her boyfriend. But her and Ron Goldman. The fact is that my sister has diary entries dating back to 1978 about abuse that was inflicted. And also there's the infamous 911 call. You know his name. You know his records, she said. And this is what she said during the 911 call. She then addressed an unknown clip that the interview showed her during the interview. And she said, one thing that does scare me, though, is the anger and empathy. And that's like crying and being angry and happy at the same time. That was not an ailment at all, and that concerned me. She's not going to like O.J. Simpson under no circumstances. Her sister is dead, and she's been dead several years, and she blames O.J. Simpson. Maybe O.J. did do it. I don't know. But he was not convicted of that. And it's a hard pill to swallow. Some people will never forgive O.J. Because people feel that he got off on that, I think that the jury was a little harder on him. Looking back, if I was his attorney, I would have told him to take the 2.5 years. I'm just saying. He did 9. And he's going to probably get out in October. Is he going to stay out of trouble? I hope. He says he's moving to Florida. I think that there's a lot of money on the table for OJ to make, though. You got reality shows. They're coming. You have all types of appearances. Can you imagine the first interview that OJ Simpson does? Can you imagine? It's going to be crazy. Oprah's trying to book him now, I'm sure. And Wendy Williams, you don't have a shot. Okay? OJ ain't going on there with the shoe cam. Okay? It ain't going to happen, Wendy. But somebody's going to do it. And I think maybe like a Barbara Walters special with that. Maybe she's too old. I don't know. But, maybe Ryan Seacrest, my homeboy Ryan Seacrest. He's from Dunwoody. I don't know. All I know is this. OJ's going to make a lot of money. And that's all I have to say about that. But do you hate OJ? Has OJ changed? Has he had time to reform himself? He's a lot slimmer. He speaks a little slower. Like I said, he's a Christian now. Maybe he's a Christian before, but I don't know. So hopefully OJ's on the right path. I don't think he's going to do anything else wrong. He's 70 years old, and he's the juice. Now, last thing I want to say on this, OJ. You need a black or Spanish woman, OJ. No more white girls. All right. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I don't think any white girls would date OJ anyway. I'm just saying.